What's up guys, it's Ryan and Ethan behind the camera from RC Maintenance. It's been a while since we've done a video, but we're going to do a new stereo install on a 2002 Volkswagen Passat wagon. It's a cool little car. We've done the window tint, we've put on some 18-inch wheels, lowered it a little bit, and now we need to make it sound good on the inside. Okay, so first thing you want to do is find a good stereo that fits your dash. This is just a, well, first of all, this is a both Android Auto and CarPlay for Apple. So these are cool because they've got touchscreen and you can plug your phone in. If you don't know what CarPlay is or Android Auto, then, well, look it up. But it kind of mirrors some of your stuff on your screen, but it also has a video input which you can use as a source for your backup camera, so you can see it on the screen. It also has a USB port, two of them. One is for your CarPlay, the other one will read a USB flash drive, and you can actually play video and play music from that. In here you'll have your stereo, obviously, but you also have your brackets for installation, your wiring harness, which includes all the stereo connections. You've got your microphone input, you got your microphone, you got your SWC, your steering wheel control input. So you've got all that too, pretty cool. You need to get some kind of a connector, which is going to be an interface for your stereo, which one allows you to use a lot of your original stuff, your original connections. It's going to have a little interface box here. It's going to have all your wiring. And this is good if you have a navigation type head unit. But this has connections, it's got your steering wheel stuff, it's got all this going on. Doesn't look like much, but it's going to plug in both here and here and into the stereo. And then you plug that bad boy in. Then we have our antenna adapter, because they don't typically have the same connection here as with the original stereo. So one is for here, this is the one that plugs into the new unit. This is the one that plugs into the original harness for your antenna. And you, in this case, with these B5 or B5.5, whatever, they use 4. You need to have 4 of these little tools to release the pins to pull the stereo out. So the kit comes with 2 packages of 2, and then you've got your adapter. So this is where you mount the stereo. One thing I always look for is if I do an install, a lot of times the little plastic casting, whatever it's called, these guys get, these are scratchy, that's annoying. So what I'll do is I'll take a knife and I'll just go ahead and cut them flush. They don't have to be pretty, they're going to be covered up, but you don't want them to be in the way of your adapter, and you don't want them to cut you. They will scratch you, potentially cut you. That's annoying. So you got all your screws. Now in here you've got your interface wiring harness instructions. It tells you all the colors, and then in here you're going to have all your wiring instructions as well. Right in here it's going to tell you all the way back somewhere. It's going to give you instructions on how to use it, but what we're looking for is actual connections. It's going to give you these microphone input, steering wheel controls. You've got your always on power, you've got your accessory power, which turns on with the key, and so on. Another one with these is you've got a green somewhere here. Where is it? You're going to have a light green wire that plugs in, and that is so it knows when you're in parking brake input. The deal is they don't want you to be watching videos when you're driving down the road, so it'll only let you do certain things when you're driving. Apparently there's some kind of federal rules. I do what I want. I mean, within reason, and I mean within the law. I mean, yeah. Alright, cool. So we'll collect all these, we'll get inside, and we'll start tearing the old stereo out. Okay, so what we're going to do is turn the key on, and I'll show you how the stereo works in this. It doesn't. How about if I change nothing? So with these stereos, a lot of stereos, for whatever reason, manufacturers came out with this idea that everybody wants to steal the stereos. And so if you disconnect the battery or your battery goes dead, you need to have ahead of time a code for the stereo. It matches to the VIN of the vehicle. What happens is if the battery goes dead or you replace your battery and you don't have that code, once you connect the battery again, this is what you get. Stereo worked before, and then the battery was totally wasted, dead, and it was a long project. Anyhow, here we are. You can call the dealer with the VIN and the stereo serial number and see if they'll give you the code. But in this case, we wanted Ethan to have a nice new stereo that you could plug the phone into and have all your music and navigation and stuff. So we're going to take this out. One of the things we need to do ahead of time is, I don't know what all we're going to need, so we got Phillips and flathead screwdrivers, short, long, or stubby, and kind of standard length, and then one that's a smaller width. And then we have our we have automatic wire strippers. These are wonderful. We have some nice crimpers, and then we have some additional snout style wire strippers. And then we have a variety of connectors, terminals, butt connectors. These are probably what we're going to use the most of. So we'll get to it. First thing, we have these two guys. We've got two packages with two tools in each one. I'm not sure which one we need. So basically you just have to figure it out. I don't know if that's right, but I'll tell you in a minute if it is. Or is it this way? Ooh. Alright, so flat side on the outside. This is the first time I've done this. Push it in, should click or make some kind of weird noise. And then, get this guy, put you down there. Alright, this one right here, flat on the outside. We're going to turn the battery, or the key back off. And open the door, get going. Okay, so I don't know if that's alright, we're going to see. That's clicked. That's clicked. Okay, well, once they click, they should lock into place. There we go. Come on, baby. There we go. Cool. It worked. How about that? So now we pull it out. We don't need these anymore. If you look right here, you'll see this is where the little release is. See, as you kind of move this. Alright, we don't care about that. So one thing we disconnect is our antenna. I'm going to grab our flathead, see if we can just get it to pop out. Nice and easy. That worked out. On the other side there is a connector, so if you pull on that, but I didn't see it. Okay, this is kind of a cool little connector. You're gonna have to squeeze it right here. As you squeeze that, pull it up, and it's got a little lever action going on, a little cam lock, and then it pulls out. Ooh, that's been hot right there before. Cool. I don't know why there are two of these, to be honest. I'm not a stereo guy, but they are. So that's a good unit, but you need to have your code in order to use it. So what Ethan was doing before was using this bad boy, which he can still use. This is kind of a nice, it's got two, but that's beside what we're doing. All right. So now we look at our connector. This is for our interface. It goes between our original and our new. If you look at it, you'll see that one goes right here. But there's another guy right there. So before we get in all that, we just want to fit this in here and look at it. I don't know if it's got a little tab right here, a little guy right here, and these little plastic pieces. That's where you're going to put this in here and then lock it in. So you have to pull back on the lever, and then right here it's going to go right in there. Once you go, push it down. As you push it down, it's going to lock it into place. See how it goes in? Click. All right, so we're going to open it back up. Now, this is the first time I've done one of these stereos, but it looks like one of our connectors is going to go right there, our additional connectors. Don't be worried about all these wires. We don't necessarily use all of them. Oh, is that what goes on? Nope. There's an onion plug in there. So we got these two. Something should go there, but I don't know what. We're not going to keep that in the video because I don't even know what it is. Got that. Got this. Let's pull out the stereo and look at the back of it. Don't forget your desiccant. Don't eat this because it's probably yucky. A desiccant is something that basically removes moisture. So if there's any moisture buildup in there, it's not going to cause any problems. It's going to stay in there, and that will take the moisture. Okay, so here's our connection in the back. This plugs in here, and then we connect all these. Seems a little redundant, maybe a little extra, but that's okay. So all the wires that are coming from here are going to include our stereo and our power, all the speakers. You look in there, you'll see right here there's two purples. One of these purples has a black stripe on it, one of them doesn't. That's a right and a left. And you have your gray, one of them has a black stripe on it, one of them is just gray. So those are your right and those are your positive and negative going to your speakers. Those are actually coming from the stereo to the speaker. So these are our 4 sets of speakers, speaker outputs. And then, ooh, whoa, what a mess. So just kind of straighten these out, make sure they're nice and tidy so they don't look all nasty. Once you put it back in there, you should have enough room to where you don't have to worry about it. You're not going to see these anymore, but we look at all these. There's light green. Anyways, moving along. So as we go, we'll find out what wire goes to what. This right here is our SWC harness, and then I don't know what this is. Is that for reverse? No, that's your mic. All right, cool. There we go. We got all these wires. Don't be worried about how many wires there are because they all have color coding and they all have instructions with them. Cool. So again, here's our stereo input. This goes directly into the stereo. One of these is the SWC input, steering wheel controls. This one is the microphone input, and that's our separate kit that has our microphone. We have to determine where do we want to put our microphone. We'll get to that later. But for now, we don't need to plug this in. We'll just keep this off to the side for now. Okay. Okay, so we've got our adapter. This guy just slides right in. And if you look right here, this little tab aligns with this center right here. We can see it, but I'll give you a little light. Center right here, and it's going to bottom out. And this little guy right here is going to, the little tabs are going to lock it in place so it doesn't pop out. Now if you look at this, you match them up, and it doesn't match up. This is too big. So what do? Well, this little shiny, super duper glossy strip, the trim piece, comes off. Now you can put this through the back, and you see how it's got a little bezel area, a little spot. Once we put this in, it's gonna, oh man, look at that. Isn't that just lovely? It's beautiful. Okay, now This came with brackets, but we don't need them because this screws right into here, which means we can position this exactly how we want it. And once we do that, we just slide the whole unit in. So we'll take some of our screws, screw it. Oh, screw this thing up. All right, here we go. I need one of them little screwdrivers. Come here. This can get a little messy because you have so many little pieces. See, look at that. This is trash now. We can toss these. I'm gonna put them right here. Wait, there's more. All right. Okay. All right. Here's our antenna guy. Our antenna adapter. Antenna adapter. Look, more screws. Oh man. We don't need those. Now you look at the side of this. Let's see, which one does it need? This one? That's the one. So put it back here. And we'll find our little guy. I like stubby screwdrivers if I need them. But if not, get the full size. Alright, so we're going to use, really we just need to get them all started. Leave your protective film on the front. Oh, that sounds like a good solution. Leave your protective film on the front and pull it off after it's completely installed. If you don't, you're going to scratch it up potentially. You increase the likelihood of damaging the screen. Screw, 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 screw. Don't tighten these up yet. Just put them all in because you've got 4 on this side and 4 on the other. Oh yeah. Huh, what happened? We got to start over because we're on this side because we turned it over. All right, here we go. All right, there we go. Get them all in position, and then we're going to hold our stereo how we want it to fit. Oh, you can went a little off. Now we'll make sure it's flush. Actually, that is just fine. Okay, kind of keep it, hold it snug, and then tighten these up. This is plastic, so you start tightening the heck out of this, she's gonna break. Plastic is quite breakable. Or is this a fine composite piece? I don't know. Whatever. Okay. Okay. Snug, snug. Snug like a bug in a rug. Okay. Now we tighten this one. It's going to get tight and everything's going to have to be. Super! Alright, snug. It's ready to shove in there. Except we need to make all our connections, and that's going to be so good. This is our little, it says rear camera input. So if you want to plug a camera into the rear of the car, and then you make your connection right there.
Is the backup camera going to happen, possibly?
In the future.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. USB/charging. This one is strictly for, well, it says USB and charging. So if you want a separate USB charging device, you can put like a lightning cable or a micro USB cable, plug it in there, and that'll be your power supply. However, you can also use this as a USB, flash drive contact point. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna connect your flash drive there, and then you'll be able to access the media on that flash drive with your stereo. You can watch a movie, I believe. I'm not sure on that, so we're gonna find all that out afterwards. And then this guy right here, guess what that's for? You plug your phone into this guy right here. This guy right here.
Apple CarPlay, because Android Auto is not good.
Shh. We don't actually know that because we don't know. All right, look at all these things. FL, FR, LN, RL, RR, RN,
FU?
Sub 1. You shut up. Sub 2, VN. Video, oh, that's where our video comes in. Now we know. And knowing's half the battle. G.I. Joe. All right, so this is strictly your video input for your rear view camera. This is a video input for, apparently, VN, video in. And yellow is the color for RCA video. Those of you who are younger than millennials, Just forget about RCA. You don't know what that is. All right, radio. Radio is, that's when you tune into those different stations, which who the heck does that anymore? Not me. You like commercials and the same 10 songs every hour? Not me. That's why we have
Apple CarPlay.
Oh yeah.
Apple Music and Spotify.
Okay, no. All right, left input, right input, so you can send audio in and you can send your video in. So if you have an adapter for your, or even if you have like a, if you had an old school DVD player, you could insert and send.
VCR.
Ooh, wait. You could use those cool little old school video games where the retro video games.
Yeah, I have my little Pac-Man one. And
yeah. So you can plug those in here. Now, sub 1, sub 2. If you have 2 separate controls for subs, you're a beast. We are. Don't tell Ethan. We're going to also install a sub way in the back. Yeah, boy.
I mean, we've got. Do we still have the one from the Passat? The other Passat?
The other Passat?
Yeah.
All right. So this is a 15 amp fuse.
One of 3.
If you blow this fuse, guess what? Your stereo's not going to work.
Oh, that's gonna suck if that happens.
Well, don't do it. There's no reason that should blow. All right. Cool. We got this ready to go. All we need to do is do all the wiring connections, and then we just. Here's the problem, though. What we need to do. Ooh, look. What's this right here? Oh, cool.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I wonder if we might be able to just shove this, gently and conveniently place this out here. Now,
and then we're going to put an aftermarket slot right there to fit that in.
So, if we were to install this all the way, I think it would be just enough. In the meantime, see, when you get a stereo like this, you don't know what you're up against necessarily. So you need to basically get all the kit. We bought all this for about $280 from Crutchfield.com. By the way, this label must be removed by the end user. That means the person, when they install it, they leave this on here so it doesn't get all boo-boo. And then the car owner, the one who's actually going to use this, is going to peel that away.
That's
and you're
going to be my privilege.
You're going to be the first person to see it all beautiful. All right, so for right now, we can just keep that open. And then what we can do is either... By the way, if you have an older car, the junkyard is a wonderful place.
Yes, it is. We found a lot of good pieces.
Heated seat stuff, the right side didn't work, but guess what? It does now.
And then we found this little cover, which matches the
interior
environment.
The environment.
The dual tone environment.
The environment. All right, I'm gonna put this back in the box so it's a little more out of the way, protected. Now, we don't need to take this out. I like to pop my knife out, so I don't need to cut this with a knife, but it's more fun.
More funner?
It's even more funner. It's more better. Remember these brackets we don't need, so we put them down there for now. Maybe I need that piece of paper because I don't know what this... Oh. This would be for if you have a power antenna.
Well, so we don't.
This would go straight to the stereo. But since we don't have that anymore, that original stereo, we're gonna go, and this will plug into the back of the stereo right like that. Boom! Now if you have a GM, then you're gonna have to get a small to large adapter because these ones are too big. And the stereos, the input on these aftermarket stereos is this size, and on the GM they have smaller. At least they did. I don't know if they still do, but there you go. All right. So now, got a pretty little trim piece we don't need.
Hang that up in the room. What?
Quiet. The good thing about these is all of these bad boys are pre-stripped. So for most of these, all you need to do is just... what we can do is we're going to connect our... See, look at it. These are all labeled. How convenient is that? Remote output. That's what you would send to your stereo amplifier, your aftermarket amp, which we're not doing today because we don't have the time. Front left, minus. That means the other white one without a black stripe is going to be the front left positive. All right, so there you go. We're going to take these two. when they strip these, I think we'll just leave everything on the chair, on the seat. That thing.
You're
that
gonna
one.
be cleaning that up, not me.
So we're gonna vacuum. Well, you know what? What we're gonna do instead is. Bloop. Ooh, I wonder if we have to quiet down our music because freaking YouTube is gonna say, no, you can't play that. All right.
Well, we've got a Patreon, so if we don't
What?
get monetized,
A what?
Patreon.
What's that?
Pretty much monetization on YouTube. You get money.
Money?
Money.
Money. That's funny. Funny money. Okay, it's cold outside. We have the sunroof open because, well,
Why would we not?
because
We have a
we
sunroof.
have it open. It's letting a little more light in. I don't like how these, it seems like it's kind of tangled up, so I'm not really thrilled about that. But hey, that's life in the big city, huh? Where do these go? I don't know. To another, another brother, another mother. All right, so we've got these guys. Now we're going to, one at a time, take all these bad boys. What I actually like to do, see how long these are. If you get a, here's our little butt connector. Now, if your butt connector is only going to go to halfway. If you see right there, there's a little kind of a stop or a little indentation. You want your insulation to go all the way until your metal part where you crimp, which means you see how long that wire is right there. That's all we want. Now you see how much is there? A lot. The best way to do a crimp is to, and even just to cut the wire and have it nice and tidy, is to twist it up. I'm going to take these, when I work with electrical, what I'll do is I'll take all my my crimping and all the little trim pieces and all the things I cut off. I'll just cut them outside, then I'll clean up afterwards. So I'll take this. Cool. Now, I get too many things going, I forget what the heck I just did 3 seconds ago. All right, you're gonna slide it in there nicely. Best thing is to have this nice and twisted. That way it doesn't kind of shred up and pop out. Once you have it in there, you're gonna take your crimper. Always use a kind like this or a specialty type. If you know of the better type, then you don't need to watch the video because you already know what you're doing. Once you get it in there, make sure you are not past the metal crimping portion. That once you get to that point, squeeze it nice and tight. I always like to check it. It is staying there. Yep. See how it has the like a male indentation and the other side is kind of like this. What that does is it gets it a nice heavy duty shove into that metal crimp piece. It's cold out there. Right. So we get this other guy here. And then make sure that's twisted because it makes it easier to work with. And there we go. Now, crimp it, tug it, boom. That's right.
There a big rig up there?
Apparently. I like how they label everything. Rear, left, plus and minus. This one is going to be gray. These are universal. They're used throughout the industry. I just don't know what they are because I forget. I don't do a lot of stereos. Front right, plus and minus. I basically only install my own stereos. Rear right, plus and minus. And then we have our accessory power. Accessory power means this gets 12 volts power, battery power, when the key is in the on position. Doesn't mean the engine's running, it just means the key is on. Here's antenna output. Remember like we were talking about with this one? Antenna output is going to give power when you turn the key on. It's also potentially useful for triggering a subwoofer amplifier to turn on. However, we have remote output. Remote output is what we use for that. It's basically the same thing. Sometimes if you look right here, they're right next to each other. Sometimes they'll be in the same spot. Here's our ground. This ground is a heavier duty wire. Here is our constant 12-volt power. All these really don't matter because we're gonna plug them into the corresponding wire on this bad boy. But I'm just showing you, these tell you if you don't have this type and you just plug it straight into you would have to cut that maybe, or use an adapter, which just makes it easier. Okay, illumination input, that changes the brightness of your screen depending on whether you have your headlights on or off. When you turn your headlights on, your lights come on the dash, your brightness changes for your stereo. Okay, parking brake input, reverse input. Reverse input is going to tell the computer, reverse is going to tell the stereo that you've got the car in reverse, and if you have a backup camera, it's going to change over to this input, that guy. Okay, so I'm going to put the rest of these on, and then we'll come back. Okay, so one thing I want to point out is if you were to cut right here, maybe right here, what's going to happen is all of the extra wire is not going to separate and just come off in a whole bunch of little pieces. So, oh, I dropped it. So instead of pulling this off and then cutting it, and you have all these little tiny pieces of wire, here, I'll show you. Now remember what I said before, if you twist them up, it kind of keeps them together. If you don't, look at that. It's going to come apart like crazy. Let's see if I can do this without making a mess in my boy's car. See all these little pieces? All these little guys?
No, we can't. We can see a little bit, but...
You can kind of see it if I move my hand around because there's a whole bunch of little pieces. Well, instead of doing it like that, you will go ahead and... Let's see, where's another? Instead, you leave the wire in there. It's called multi-strand wire. You have a whole bunch of little tiny strands, little bare strands of wire. So you cut it like that, and it stays in here. Boom. It's raining. Está lloviendo. And we are not going to... We had to close the sunroof because it turned into a rain roof. And we don't want that. Alright. Be back in a minute. Okay, so we've gotten the butt connectors on all of the actual aftermarket stereo harness wires. What we're going to do now is connect them to the interface harness. It's been a little bit of a challenge, only because Metro or Access or whoever this brand is has done a really crappy job with telling me. See, there are two identical connectors. Now, this one says SWC harness, steering wheel control, which allows you to control the stereo with your steering wheel controls, which is cool, but this connector is identical to this one. Now, I didn't know which one was which, but after doing a little research, becoming educated, how about that? Turns out this one goes to this guy. This is the navigation unit, which is, it's a navigation interface. It's for cars that have navigation, or at least for the head unit that has navigation. What it does, it allows you to connect information, send information to the stereo. So it'll tell if the parking brake is on, it'll tell it if the car is moving, things like that. So if you look here in this, it says the light green wire goes to the parking brake wire. The blue and pink wire goes to the vehicle speed sensor, or the speed sense. Connect the green and purple wire to the reverse wire, which is for our backup camera, to tell it to turn on. So this is going to be used to tell the stereo that it's in reverse, that the car is in reverse, so it'll say, oh, switch over to backup camera. The additional module, which is bloody expensive if I do say so myself, is the ASWC, steering wheel control, -1. And then it tells you what to do if you're going to do that one. Well, my biggest problem, like I said, is I wasn't sure. It looks like this harness, you could just add the separate module. Apparently it looks identical to this, except it has ASWC-1 on the back. So anyways, now I know. And now I don't have to worry. I'm still going to plug this into, no, not the microphone, the SWC input. There may be some functionality, but I'm not sure. It comes to this wiring, so I will find out. They kind of run through. Anyway, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect all these. It's quite a few wires, but it's just a matter of being patient, working through it. Be back in a minute. Okay, so we've gotten all of our connections made. Really, for the most part, and pretty completely actually, it's just a function of making sure your wires are the same, one to the other. So your illumination, orange to orange. Your 12-volt accessory power, which is key on, red to red. Yellow is going to be your always on power. There's always got power there. It always has power. Remote output, we haven't used that yet because we need to install an amplifier, and all the wiring for that'll be in a subsequent video. Right here, if you look in the connector, there's no pin right there at the top, and that's where that goes. There's no pin there because there's no remote. There is no electric. Let me cut that off. There is no electric antenna, so we don't have to worry about that. Okay, now what we could do is we could also run this, but I don't know what goes there. Some kind of a module where it joins these two, but we don't need it again because we don't have a powered what's it called? Antenna. Okay, so we got all these connected. Again, all you're doing is matching color to color. So your purple, it says if it's a plus, it's a solid color. If it's a minus, it's going to have a black stripe on it. That's hard to see. Let's go with a gray. Gray plus is going to be front right, and it's just solid gray. Gray minus is going to be front right minus, and it's going to have a black stripe on it. All right. So what we're going to do is first we're going to test this. We're going to plug this in here, let it come together, lock it. One now. Oh, piece got broken off. I just saw this little piece is broken off. That sucks. So we might put a zip tie around it to hold it snug. This will just fit in there, no big deal. But for now, we can plug our antenna connector there. We can plug this guy in right here. Have a little click right there. Click. All right. Oh, it doesn't work. Okay. Key on. Plugged in one. Yep. Do we have a power? How do we use this? Mm-hmm. I fuse it in. Good.
Oh, there we go.
I guess that wasn't quite plugged in. I don't know.
Oh, that's cool. It's got RGB.
Oh, that's loud. Okay, media player, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, hands-free, blah, blah, blah. Camera. Oh, you can just turn the camera on when you want it? Oh, that's cool. Check your connections. You don't have a camera plugged in, dummy. Okay. How do you go back?
My phone.
Okay, here, we'll plug this one in. All right, so we have two USB. We'll go with our CarPlay because that's what we're going to use. Plug it in. So what we do is we test this out before
Putting it in.
before we install it, because once it's installed, we can get it back out. But okay, it's charging. That's a good thing for starters. Unlock your phone. Okay. When safe, follow instructions on your phone to continue.
That's Waze.
That's
So
Waze.
we don't need that.
Allow. Okay, so we'll go here.
Oh yeah.
So we can go to our music. Let's go to, what should we play?
I have some monotheist. I have a lot. I have to go through stuff.
Got a lot of weird stuff, man.
Yes, I'm aware. I have to get rid of a lot of it. Louis Armstrong.
Oops. Where? I don't know where the volume is at right now, so. Ooh, that's loud. I don't like it.
We'll see about turning down that in the settings. There we go. To the menu. Go to settings and see if we can turn off that awful beep.
Oh, that's not settings, that's the EQ.
Wrong one.
Language, time zone, date and time, daylight savings time, system tone. There you go. Power off delay? Power, I don't know what that means. I'm assuming that when you turn camera, blue, oh, let's go to camera. Review camera, input, review camera, normal view, parking assist guide. Ooh, parking assist guide adjust, reviewed. So there's all kinds of cool settings in Bluetooth, display, what's this? Illumination colors, you can change the brightness of the day versus the night.
Oh, that's nice.
Change your subwoofer filter. Oh, you can change the output. That's cool.
All right, that's.
We don't have a subwoofer right now. We'll change that later. EQ, we already saw that. Loudness, internal amp, default volume, source level, general, date and time. It is presently. I'm guessing it already read this from the phone.
Yeah, from Apple CarPlay, because that is the perfect time.
Cool. System tone.
No, that was
That's
awful.
terrible. So there you go.
Sweet.
We're all set. Now we can go to CarPlay and we can look at our we can get our maps. We'll say, let's go to school. Boom. Oh, that's so cool. Well, now,
Watch this.
okay, now I'm going to turn the key off. I don't know how long it stays on for. Wait, what happens if I open the door? Nope, it's got some kind of a
Oh, there it goes.
there it is. Now we know. Wait, let's turn it back on for a moment. Okay, keys out. Let's see if it turns off quickly or what? No. Why did it do that?
En route.
No longer en route. Looks like it does have.
So basically,
So-
it'll be on until you open the door.
There's a certain amount of time that it stays on until you open the door, and then like a 3-second delay. That was the delay we were looking at. There you go. So now we're gonna install. We're gonna stuff it in here. We're gonna shove these guys out.
I'm gonna stick that through that little spot right there, and then we're gonna maybe we could try to find like an aftermarket piece to go there that we can fit the.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Or we can make it ourselves, maybe.
Yeah, we can. We have. Oh, I said earlier, the junkyard is a happy place because you can get something like this from the junkyard. Get a couple of them, practice with it, figure out how to cut a piece out to fit your USB port through it, and then fit it right through. But for now, we're going to take it out and just stuff this through there. And you've got lots of space down here, so you can put your little module and your connections back there. I'm going to go get a zip tie to tighten this together because somehow that piece broke. Lame. And then we'll stuff all this in there.
It's a mess. Lots of wires.
It's a ton. A metric ton? No. That's even close. Alright, so we can kind of we're going to bring this back out later when we continue our project. But for now, we're going to just kind of stuff these in there, make sure everything fits, and then when we take it back out, we'll make our adjustments. Those adjustments being, wait.
Uh-oh, low battery. We gotta hurry. Low battery. We must hurry.
Hurry. Okay. There we go. Make sure it gets in the way.
Oh yeah. Hold the camera while I peel.
Do it.
Let's figure out how to get it out.
So good. So good. Do it. You can do it.
I do too. Ha 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 ha. The ultimate satisfaction. Yeah.
Oh yeah. She's so clean.
He's so filthy.
Ooh.
Look at
Hi. Now with the test drive.